all of you have mentioned technology and data already, right? Before we got to the slide, which just indicates how critical it is at the epicenter of creating experiences and that engagement with AR and VR and mobile and apps, et cetera. So the first question I'll ask is, Megan, for you, what technologies, right, have you seen in the market that help to improve customer experiences?
Yeah, I think we've covered some of them already, right?
Yeah.
You know, Scott and Laurie have both talked about that sort of customer engagement, right? I want to speak to somebody now. I don't want to have to wait for 3 minutes or 30 minutes only to have the phone hung up or be transferred to somebody where I have to re-explain the problem yet again. So, you know, embedding, and this is one of the wonderful things with having an e-commerce platform, right, is the ability to embed the technologies to do a test and learn, right? If it's not right for you, you can quickly unplug some of the technologies that we enable through our third-party providers. But for me, it's, you know, as you have it on the screen there, I am such a proponent and have been for a long time about augmented reality, virtual reality, right? To actually see something. We're seeing this heavily adopted in B2B, all right? You know, that world of B2B was changed significantly, like everything was when COVID hit. But you know, the ability for sellers to go out and sell their products and somebody to buy 10,000 widgets of something, right, changed. Now it's the ability to actually see, and there are some great technologies out there. Shout out again to companies like 3Kit, which is a partner of BigCommerce, easily integrated into the BigCommerce platform, allows you to fly in and expand out and actually see how the widget works. And yes, this is what I want to buy, and I want to buy 10,000 of them. Machine learning that's on there as well, I think is another key thing related back to the bottom there, right? Which is we're living in an era of data-driven decision making. So it's not the sort of big brother approach as I'm watching everything you do, but if you can have a way to see how a customer is navigating through your e-com site, right? Where the points of friction are, bring in you know, a customer experience or a UX designer to see how they can improve, to Laurie's point, right? Trying to find something and it wasn't there on the button, but I thought it was, and it changed, right? You know, I'm sure for us boomers that were used to Facebook when it came out, and then they changed the format of it, we're like, oh, I want to go back to old Facebook. But over a period of time, you were used to the new one, right? But it is a matter about understanding your customer and what makes sense, you know. So it's things like, you know, I'll give you another cool one that we have with the platform, and that is a very streamlined checkout, right? How many of us get frustrated with the checkout experience, right? We've gone through the pain of adding things to our cart, and now it's just typing all the information in to get to the checkout. So, you know, Fast.io, which is another partner of BigCommerce that does that seamless checkout. But, you know, chatbots we talked about, but I'm going to be remiss if we don't think about, you know, Amazon calls it the last mile, right? Which is getting it to your doorstep. And they're forgetting that there is I don't know what's past the last mile once it's on your doorstep, but the returns, that's something that technology's got to go fix. And I don't know how to do that yet, right? I don't know how to figure out the technology to do a better experience when it comes to returns. So, you know, summary of this is, look, there's some great technologies out there that can integrate into your e-commerce platform that can build experiences. And if the e-com platform, well, and let me say, I don't say, well, I'm going to sort of plug BigCommerce. The great thing with BigCommerce is that you can plug in new technologies and see if it works. And if it's not for you, you unplug that. Several of our bigger B2B merchants have done that before they expand usage out into other regions, right? Especially for search, you know, advanced search and merchandising capabilities, right? They want to see if they can be applied into the B2B world, specific for their nuanced, you know, instance of e-commerce. So, you know, for me, there's technologies that can uplift you. And as Scott says, right, some of these can give you the wow factor, right? For me, AR, VR gives me the wow factor because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can really see that KitchenAid thing in my kitchen. Don't know how to use it, but it looks good on the shelf over there. So, you know, there are cool things that we can use.
And then just in 30 seconds, Scott, if you can round us off on this particular topic, are there, from a creative standpoint, are there any features that are driven, right, by technology and data, that create these powerful experiences?
Features? Well, I would say the great unknown right now is how voice on the digital front, how voice is going to affect, let's just say, the check-in experience. We've got everybody in the pandemic talking about contactless experiences, and the hotels were doing okay with being able to check in through your phone, check into your room, keyless. And as I said yesterday, in a touchless hotel experience, what happens to the Hyatt touch? So the balance is going to be really critical, because it's going to be table stakes, whether you have ionization filtration system, HVA systems that are costing millions and millions of dollars. Listen, the hotels are going to have to cut something out. And the first line of defense to cutting things out is generally marketing, and second, people. So I worry about that. But when I check in, wouldn't it be a great option for me to say, Siri, Alexa, Lori, close the shades, do the temperature? But there's liability with voice. I mean, the voice print in the room, greater engineers, better experts could talk to. The adoption rate is going to be slower than I think it is, but I would love to see it. And that last mile that Amazon does own, that last mile includes being inside with Alexa. So I think Alexa, return my Amazon box, I don't want it, is certainly coming.